Welcome to Faith and Flower. I'm Robin, and it's good to be back here with you after some time away with my family. Before we get started today, I'm going to show you where we've been. It was so much fun, but now that we are back, it's time to do some homemaking in our home away from home. This is our Airstream travel trailer and where we live while we're exploring. This time we were away for almost 4 weeks, mainly in southern Utah. I cleaned, cooked, and did our laundry while we traveled, but now it's time for a deep clean and some organizing so that we can be ready for the next adventure. Even if you don't have a travel trailer, I hope that today's video will give you some motivation for cleaning your home, wherever that is, along with some ideas for some small space organization. After stripping the sheets off the beds, I got them into the wash and came back in to empty the pantry. I already cleared everything out of the refrigerator and freezer, and there are a couple more storage compartments under the beds where I keep food, but this is the main pantry area and I just want to do a deep clean, so I'm going to take pretty much everything out. And sometimes I do store some canned items and things that I know I'm going to use every time we're on a trip in these areas, but this time I want to take them all out, get everything spotless, and then decide how I want to organize things because I might want to make a few changes here and there. My favorite cleaning tool is a microfiber cloth and just some water. That usually takes care of most everything, but for some of the stubborn smudges, I went in with a magic eraser and that took care of it. Along with cleaning all of these spaces, I want to organize some of them a little bit better. After spending almost 4 weeks in our Airstream, I realized that a couple of things that I have in here aren't functioning as well as I'd like. But here's what I have up in this cabinet. I've got these nesting bowls. They're like a little colander, a large colander, and 2 sort of medium-sized bowls that I got from Pampered Chef a long time ago. And I use these almost every day. They're perfect for the Airstream. And this little spice rack or container that I got from Tupperware, I thought was going to be perfect for the Airstream. I love that they're airtight, but every time we move, this whole thing sort of topples over and it's really hard to see what I have when it's up in that high cabinet. So even though it's a great concept, it doesn't really work. So I'm gonna try to fix that. And here's where I keep all of our tea and coffee supplies basically. So we do take our Nespresso machine along with us, but if we are not hooked up to power, I still have everything I need to make coffee in the morning. The other cabinet has all of our plates, bowls, cups, measuring items, and just random containers and things that we use while we're traveling. If you're interested in any of these items, I have an RV section of my Amazon store and I'll put the link down in the description box so you can check those out. Our plates are from Corel. We love them. They're so durable. These water bottles that we use while we're hiking came from Walmart. A plastic measuring cup and pitcher, some paper cups. I have some metal cups, but I'm not really happy with those. And then some food storage containers. My favorite are these collapsible ones. They're made of silicone. You can put them in the microwave and they take up so little space up here in the cabinet, but they come in really handy for leftovers and things like that. Plus, I've got some silicone ice cube trays to make ice while we're on the road. And my problem with these cups is we've had them since we got our Airstream, so for almost 3 years now, and I got them very inexpensively on Amazon and they are rusting. So I want to get rid of those and replace them. And we went ahead and invested in some made by Yeti. And I'll put those in my Amazon store too. They are pricey, but I've heard really great things about them and they should really last a lifetime. It feels really good to get everything neat and tidy once again, to have some new cups for our next trip. And if you're curious, these rope baskets that you see me using all over the Airstream come from Target. They are the perfect container for the Airstream because they're soft, they won't scratch anything, and they kind of mold to whatever shape you need them to. Under the sink is where I keep some cleaning supplies, a collapsible dish drying rack, our cutting boards, and trash can. And on the bottom shelf, there's just enough room for all of our pots and pans. when I initially set up things in our Airstream, I put this shelf liner on most of the shelves, but I missed a few, I think because I ran out or thought that I didn't really need it. But now I see that it would be really helpful on this top shelf as well. So I bought some more. It's really great. It doesn't require any adhesive, and it keeps things from slipping around and protects the cabinets and drawers from getting scuffed up. And there's a couple other places where I'm going to add it while I'm at work here today too. This is the only drawer that we have in the kitchen area of the Airstream, so I have to be really intentional about what I put in here, and the system's working really great, but I do really wish that I had put that shelf liner all over the bottom here. I think this is another one of those places where I either didn't feel like it was necessary or I ran out, but in any case, you can see how many scuffs there are just from the items that I've been storing in here, and mostly because of the Airstream moving, causing things to shift around. So this is going to take care of that. I do wish that I had done it initially, but better late than never. And I'm just gonna take everything out and give everything a thorough cleaning and remove anything that I don't think belongs. We do have a few sort of random items that always wind up in this drawer. If we find like a screw and we don't know where it belongs, I'll keep it in here until we figure that out. So there are a few little items like that, but otherwise, these are the items that we use regularly. If it's in this drawer, it has to earn its keep. So I don't keep anything in here that's not really necessary and not used almost daily. There's a little space underneath the drawer, and this is where I keep usually some drink items, also some oatmeal packets, any little things that will fit in there. I love that they gave us access to these small spaces because anywhere you can find to store a few things is really handy in a small space like this. The next day I was ready to put clean sheets on the beds, but first I wanted to do a deep clean in the bedroom area as well. One of our boys, Kyle, had bunk beds growing up, and making up the beds in our Airstream reminds me a lot of changing the sheets on his bunk bed. It can be quite a workout, to say the least. Just like with bunk beds, I have come to realize that perfection is basically unobtainable, so I just try to get it done the best that I can. Let me know if you've experienced that down in the comments and we can commiserate a little bit. There's a small space behind this couch, which also converts to Peyton's bed while we are away, that I use for storing our cleaning supplies. And so I also keep our vacuum in there, and of course it winds up holding several other items. And then above that is really a catch-all area for us, and I want to spend some time organizing this today because it's really quite a mess and it's been really difficult for us to find what we're looking for up there. So I want to take care of that today too. Help us corral our paperwork, magazines, and anything like that we collect on our trip, along with keeping everything contained like party supplies. I found these fabric covered magazine holders, and I think they're going to work really well. They are shaped a lot like the curve of our Airstream, so they fit up there really well. And in these baskets, like I mentioned, that I got from Target, we keep electronic things and games that we like to have with us in case of a rainy day, and those are the sort of things that we like to store up there. So we pared down and got rid of things that we're not using and just kept the things that we do use regularly up here now, and hopefully having everything a little bit better contained will keep things in order better on our next trip. Wiping down the refrigerator inside our Airstream, I took all of the shelves and bins that I keep in there into our kitchen and washed them thoroughly with some hot soapy water. I need to dry those and return them to the Airstream, and I also need to put away all of this food. Also on our trip this time, I realized that I need a better mop for our Airstream. I had been using the disposable Swiffer type mops, but with all of the dirt that we track into the Airstream along with what the dog tracks in, it's just not enough, and I felt like it was just really wasteful using those because I had to use so many to feel like I was getting the floor clean. And so I was contemplating the whole time we were away what would work better, and I found this on Amazon. Actually, a lot of you have said that you have this type of mopping system and it works really well. So this is from O-Cedar. It has two sides to it. There's a container which I have added water and a little bit of floor cleaner to, and this will keep the dirty water separated from the clean water, and the microfiber mop also does a really great job of capturing all of the dirt. It spins out the excess water so that you don't have to use your hands to wring it out. I've just heard great things about it, and I thought that it might be a good solution for the Airstream because the mop size is rather small too. So after I get everything back in order in the refrigerator, I'm going to give it a try. Right away, I liked most everything about this mop. I like that the handle is collapsible so I can make it smaller for when we travel. I also like the size of the mop head because it's really great. It can get into all the small spaces here in our Airstream. We have a laminate floor here in the Airstream, but I think it would be great for wood floors too because you can really spin out most of the water and make it just barely damp. You don't have to saturate your floor with water and will dry really quickly. The bucket is a little bit bulky for storing here inside the Airstream, but Patrick let me know that there's plenty of room on the back of the truck for that for when we travel. I actually can't wait to give it a try inside our home, and I will let you know in a future video what I think about it. One of the things I love about traveling in our Airstream is that I can do most of the cooking for us while we're traveling. Our son Peyton has some dietary issues and we really only ate out a handful of times while we were gone over the 4 weeks. And so I like to have all of my spices available, and the system that I was using before, like I said, just wasn't working very well. So I decided to invest in some new bottles and try a different way of storing them so that I can take all the spices that we love for cooking and contain them in a small area. I found these glass spice bottles with the bamboo lids on Amazon, and it came with this collapsible funnel to make it easier to fill the jars. Initially, I was going to go with plastic to reduce the weight, but I really like storing our food as much as possible in glass, especially spices that are in there for a long period of time. These jars also came with several different options for labels, which is really nice. I didn't have to order any extra, and I'm going to use the ones that go on the top because I think that's going to work best for my idea for storing these. So this turned into a little bit more of a project than I anticipated. It turns out it takes a lot longer to transfer all of the spices into these jars than I realized it would, but I think it's just part of the initial setup. I think going forward, when I just have a few to replenish here and there, it's going to be a lot easier. And I think it's really going to be worth it, and I'm hopeful that this is going to be a great solution for our Airstream.
I'll follow only golden things. Mountain laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and hummingbird wing. Golden, I'll follow only golden. Golden things. Gold hair, gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, golden. I'll follow only golden. step over splinters of the moon. Golden, I follow only golden, golden things.
Now we're ready to plan our next adventure. Thank you so much for spending your time with me here today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give me a thumbs up before you go. And if you haven't already done so, we would love to have you join us here at Faith and Flower by subscribing. Subscribing is absolutely free and easy. All you have to do is click on my picture. Make sure to leave a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have a wonderful week.
I follow only golden, golden.